I'm a transport planner working for London Borough of Hounslow, working in Hounslow Civic Centre. Transport planning is all about the movement of people in a space, in this case Hounslow Borough, and it's about trying to make sure that people can access the services that they need to, that businesses can get their goods in, so we can service the economy. But it's also about looking at how that process works and trying to reduce the environmental impact of it, and also to take the opportunity to promote active travel, walking and cycling, so people can build in exercise into their daily routine. There's a whole host of different projects that could be included under transport planning, and that reflects on what your average day might be. So it could be that it's meetings, it could be that you're sitting behind a desk doing a report, it could be that you're analysing a lot of data to try and come up with recommendations for a further study, it could be that you're presenting at a conference. I think the most peculiar thing I've done so far is being filmed for a viral marketing campaign. We commissioned a project to look at how we can work with that community, 14 to 19-year-olds, to change their viewpoint of cycling and try and make it more aspirational. And part of that was about trying to sell the freedom that cycling gives. Freedom both in terms of time, and it's easy, you don't have to wait for someone to come pick you up, you don't have to wait for a bus, you're able to get on a bike and just ride. I think I like it because it's mentally stimulating, because often there is a problem and there's no easy solutions. If I was a brain surgeon, you wouldn't try and tell me how to operate on brains. But as a transport planner, everyone tells you how they think transport planning should work. I can't believe you did this to this junction. I can't believe you've taken parking away here. So everyone can get involved in the subject and everyone has an opinion. But it is complicated, and at the end of the day it does come down to quite difficult decisions sometimes. I'm quite environmental, and I know that transport has a big impact on the environment, and I enjoy being practically involved at the cutting edge, if you like, of schemes to try and reduce its environmental impact. There is a large mosque in Hounslow which often gets 4,000 people coming to the site, and that causes a massive traffic problem in the area. So we're working with the mosque to try and reduce the number of people that are driving to that site. So encouraging them to walk, encouraging them to cycle, encouraging them to share their car with other people, encouraging them to use the bus or other public transport, and giving them information to allow them to do that. Modern transport planning, particularly in London boroughs, tends to fall into two categories. One would be hard infrastructure projects, new engineering, and I found that quite rewarding because it's new, and you actually, within a year you can decide where a route is going to go, you can get the permissions to do it, you can build it, and it's there. On the other side, you've got the soft schemes, which is a marketing of transport. In some ways, particularly sustainable transport, that's just a product like any other product, and we have to sell that actively. Now, whether that's through doing a viral marketing campaign to try and show that cycling is cool for 14 to 19-year-olds, or getting a nice brochure illustrating our bus routes, it's all part of the same thing. How I got into transport planning is a little odd, but I actually had gone originally into educational research, and I was doing quite a lot of work with schools. So when I started looking around for a new job, an opportunity came up to work specifically with schools to promote walking and cycling and other sustainable transport. And since then, I've now moved from dealing with schools to wider transport planning issues. Transport for London are very good at supporting officers with continual professional development. So I'm now coming to the end of a 3-year master's programme in transport planning and sustainable development that has been paid for and supported by the council. A lot of transport planning is about digesting information and then presenting it as an argument. Specific skills with statistics and Excel, using spreadsheets, and then report writing in general are all invaluable. Things like web design, websites and promotions and marketing are all important. If you've got a background in that, or you know about how to market a product, even if it's nothing to do with sustainable transport, those sorts of skills are still useful. But I would say more importantly than that is probably the need to be enthusiastic about the subject matter. And having that enthusiasm will always mark you out in a crowd if you're being interviewed for a post. And yeah, be prepared to start at the bottom and work your way up.